The Monica Lewinsky interview, round 2 on Entertainment Tonight.
A CBS News exclusive. Long missing victims of Mexican drug thugs are found buried south of the Texas border. U.S. agents began a massive recovery operation. He survived a harrowing escape from Cuba to the U.S. Now he's at the center of an international tug of war. And the battle in Seattle. Why are so many people upset over an international trade meeting?
This is the CBS Evening News. With Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. A CBS News exclusive tonight, the discovery of secret killing fields used by Mexico's narco thugs to bury dozens of their murder victims inside Mexico, just across the U.S. border. Some of the dead are U.S. citizens. Some just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. CBS's Jim Stewart has been working this story hard to come up with the facts. Jim, what are they?
Dan, an FBI task force has moved into El Paso, Texas tonight to begin recovering an estimated 100 bodies at 2 grave sites just inside the Mexican border. The murder victims, including perhaps as many as half a dozen Americans, are part of what is known in the region as the disappeared. People who've simply vanished in recent years at the hands of Mexican security police or the drug cartels who control the region. And FBI officials believe many more people are still unaccounted for.
Working with the Mexican Army and federal police, the FBI is expected to converge on 2 remote ranches south of Juarez, one 10 miles from the border, the other 30 miles further south, where the bodies are believed to be buried in ravines and slit trenches, some as deep as 12 feet. Sources tell CBS News a 500-man-sized battalion of Mexican soldiers has set up a security perimeter around the 2 ranches, and that 200 FBI agents and forensic specialists have begun surveying the burial sites. Exhumation is expected to begin early tomorrow. Under agreement with Mexico, the bodies will be removed to El Paso for DNA analysis and notification of families. Most of the missing came from Juarez, the Mexican border city that is the staging area for a multi-billion-dollar drug pipeline into the United States. Many were last seen in the custody of Mexican police who may have been acting on orders from drug gangs looking to intimidate rivals. The recovery operation, larger even than the one the FBI attempted recently in Kosovo, is expected to take 30 days.
Human rights groups have been insisting for months now that nowhere in the world have so many people disappeared in the context of drug-related violence than along the U.S.-Mexican border at El Paso. Tonight it appears at least some of them may have been found. Dan?
Jim Stewart in Washington. Also in the battle with Mexican drug traffickers, the U.S. reports marijuana seizures along the U.S. southwestern border are up 33% over the last year. In the first 6 months of 1999 alone, more than 1,300,000 pounds of marijuana was seized. Cocaine seized from January to June totals more than 145,000 pounds, including record hauls seized by the U.S. Coast Guard along Mexico's Pacific coast and the Caribbean. The Cold War is over, but the United States and Russia are still dead serious about spying on each other. And CBS News has learned that a U.S. Navy officer is under arrest, suspected of selling U.S. intelligence secrets to the Kremlin. CBS News national security correspondent has exclusive details on this story.
A senior Navy petty officer is being held in this Marine Corps brig at Quantico, Virginia, charged with espionage. He is suspected of giving the Russians information about one of the Pentagon's most secret operations, using submarines to eavesdrop on Russian undersea communications cables. Petty Officer First Class Daniel King has been in the Navy for 18 years, most of it in the top-secret world of codes and communications. At the time of the alleged espionage, he was assigned to the National Security Agency, the headquarters for this country's worldwide eavesdropping operations. He worked in the office which received reports from the submarines listening to Russian communications, a high-risk operation which requires the submarines to sneak into shallow waters and tap into undersea cables. After failing a routine lie detector test earlier this year, King admitted he mailed a disk full of data to the Russian embassy in 1994 because he was angry at being passed over for a promotion. It does not appear to be as serious as such Cold War cases as the Walker family spy ring, which also gave away secrets about Navy submarines, but it's further evidence the U.S. and Russia still spy on each other every chance they get. Despite King's confession, Navy officials are not sure they'll be able to convict him. They have very little other evidence against him, and he has since retracted his confession. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
A different kind of international dispute is swirling around a 5-year-old boy from Cuba who washed up on the U.S. shore Thanksgiving Day. He is the latest pawn in the power struggle between Fidel Castro and Cuban exiles in the United States. CBS's Bob McNamara is following this still developing story.
He is already the poster child for South Florida's anti-Castro exiles. 5-year-old Elian Gonzalez, the Cuban boy rescued Thanksgiving Day, clinging to an inner tube off the Florida coast after his mother, stepfather, and other refugees drowned trying to reach the U.S. illegally. And though today it was hard to see the boy, for all those who want to be seen with him, Elian Gonzalez is at the center of an international custody battle.
And the U.S. government should not deport him to Cuba because he came here fleeing persecution in Cuba, and now that he's become such an international symbol, he might have a difficult life if he's forced to return.
In the boy's Cuban hometown today, a government-staged protest demanded he be returned to his angry biological father, who claims his son was kidnapped by his ex-wife and is being used as a political pawn against Cuba.
Hi, guys. How are we doing?
But in Miami, where a local congresswoman came to shower gifts on her district's most celebrated little soul, the boy's Miami relatives say he is happiest staying with them.
I have asked him if he wants to go back. I did because we have to ask him also. He should know if he's comfortable or not.
So what did he say?
He said no.
He does not want to go back.
He said no.
But it's fair to say the disposition of this case might ultimately be decided by the courts.
In the end, Elian Gonzalez may have little to say in deciding his own future. But for now and for some time, he will stay where he is until a complex legal system and U.S.-Cuban backdoor diplomacy can sort this puzzle out. Bob McNamara, CBS News, Miami.
Fidel Castro says he will not come to the United States for the World Trade Organization conference opening tomorrow in Seattle. Castro said today that he's certain the U.S. wouldn't grant him a visa, and he, quote, did not want to be humiliated that way. In a moment, we'll show you some of what Castro is missing in Seattle, including why hundreds of protesters blame the WTO for a world of economic ills and dangers. Also ahead, history made in Northern Ireland. Protestants and Catholics now sharing power. And cops fighting crime in the 21st century with robotic spider spies.
Look, Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Ellie's renting again. And Enterprise picked her up again. She said Enterprise picks her up free. Free? Free. Now that makes renting easy.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
The other day, I'm driving down Broadway when that pastrami on ride catches up with me. Heartburn, big time. My passenger says, here, take a Zantac 75. I say, what are you, a doctor? And he says, yeah.
The medicine in Zantac 75 is the #1 doctor-prescribed acid reducer. It relieves even your toughest heartburn, controlling acid for up to 12 hours.
A real gentleman, that doctor.
Zantac 75 for tough heartburn. Doctors know.
This holiday, over 7 million pets will be homeless. But when you buy a limited edition PetSmart ornament for $4.99, you can help. All proceeds go to PetSmart charities to benefit local homeless animals. Make a pet's holiday wish come true at PetSmart.
Nobody in America sells more office products to more businesses than Office Depot.
You can shop our store.
Taking care of business.
Or you can shop our catalog.
Taking care of business.
You can shop online.
Taking care of business. It's all mine. Taking care of business and working overtime. Work out.
Office Depot. Taking care of business.
"135 nations are gathering in Seattle for the World Trade Organization meeting that opens tomorrow. President Clinton will be there to push for more free trade in the 21st century. But 50,000 protesters are also on hand, and they have different ideas. CBS Chief White House Correspondent John Roberts is in Seattle tonight with the whys voices of the protesters. John?
Dan, the president has made it clear that opening new global markets is crucial to the future economic prosperity of America. But when he arrives at the WTO summit here in Seattle, he will be met with a storm of protest over the environmental and social costs of that prosperity. Protesters mobbed a McDonald's restaurant in downtown Seattle this afternoon, demonstrating against what they claim is McDonald's use of genetically modified food. It was the latest in a succession of demonstrations against what critics of the WTO call a policy that puts free trade above all else. Earlier today, conference participants were kept from going into the convention center. The Secret Service, worried that an apparent overnight break-in might mean a security breach, closed the facility for hours while they swept it for explosives. Protesters had been planning for this moment for months. University of Washington professor Philip Mariano says Americans are becoming fed up with the WTO's closed-door process.
The WTO is an anti-democratic organization, closed to small numbers of people, and most citizens are barred from any information.
The biggest protest is reserved for tomorrow, when more than 30,000 members of the AFL-CIO will march in downtown Seattle. They are demanding a place at the WTO table to craft an enforceable set of rules on global labor practices.
We're not talking about imposing our standards on other countries. We're talking about basic rights and respect. We're talking about the abolition of child labor.
The president has appealed to the WTO to address unfair labor practices and enact a ban on child labor. The AFL-CIO says it supports Mr. Clinton on that issue, but will hold him accountable if the WTO does nothing. Dan?
John Roberts in Seattle. Just what is the World Trade Organization? It is a big, powerful, business-oriented international institution dedicated primarily to elimination, if possible, otherwise reducing tariffs on international trade. The WTO has grown to include 135 member nations with 2/3 of the world's population. Despite human rights and other questions, China is nearing membership. Russia still is not a member. The WTO helped change the whole world economy by lowering tariffs on industrial goods, eliminating many quotas and subsidies, and helping to protect patents, copyrights, and trademarks. The WTO has ruled on disputes involving everything from Japanese steel dumping to American hormone-treated beef, and some new fishing restrictions aimed at saving endangered species. Now, spurred by big business, the USA seeks to have the organization eliminate many individual nations' trade laws concerning global telecommunications and entertainment and electronic commerce. Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, Protestants and Catholics take the pledge to try to live in peace in Northern Ireland.
Something new is here. A whole new way to take care of heartburn. Introducing Pepsid AC gel caps. Just one gel cap controls as much acid as a whole roll of Tums. An idea that's very easy to swallow. New Pepsid AC gel caps.
The all-in-one, internet-ready Gateway Astro PC is so simple to set up. You'll have it up and running in less than one donut. Just $799 with an Intel Celeron processor. Call 1-800-GATEWAY.
A significant discovery in eye health may be lutein, a nutrient found in these healthy foods, perhaps as vital to your eyes as the beta-carotene in carrots. And now, Centrum and Centrum Silver are the only leading multivitamins that have lutein. So whatever your age, you can help maintain your precious sight. Look into Centrum and Centrum Silver, now more complete with lutein. Also look for Centrum Herbals, the only herbals backed by Centrum Science.
One of life's most joyful moments can also be one of its most painful. But take comfort in Tylenol, the pain reliever doctors and hospitals choose most.
Come meet your little brother. Hello.
Tylenol, take comfort in our strength.
Oh, Mom, it's great. My first apartment. You should see it. It's huge.
When you've got things to talk about, it's a good idea to dial 10-10-321 first.
And I had a great view of the river.
With 10-10-321, You get 50% off calls over 10 minutes. That's just 8 cents a minute, day or night, and no monthly fees. And then 50% off. You can share every last detail.
And I even have a garden.
Talk as long as you want with 10-10-321.
In Washington, the Institute of Medicine reported today that as many as 98,000 Americans die each year from medical mistakes. The mistakes range from bad handwriting on prescriptions to new drugs that sound alike or look alike when written out and are dispensed incorrectly. To remedy this, the Institute recommends establishing a federal center of patient safety and accurate reporting of such errors. In Russia, Boris Yeltsin is back in the hospital, this time with a suspected case of pneumonia. The 68-year-old Russian president has been ailing again since late last week, but continued working through today at his country residence outside Moscow. Aides have been running the Kremlin's day-to-day business, including the war in Chechnya. In Northern Ireland today, sworn enemies sat down together and swore to share power in a whole new coalition government. This agreement is designed to bring peace to the British province, long torn between Protestant loyalists and Irish Republicans, Roman Catholics. As CBS's Tom Fenton reports, it still has a long way to go.
Order. In a scene that would have been unthinkable a few years ago, Catholics and Protestants together took the first faltering steps today toward forming a new government. They will share power in governing Northern Ireland for the first time in a quarter century. In a room filled with bitter foes, there was a sense of history and disbelief when the one-time military chief of the Irish Republican Army rose to take his oath of office as Minister of Education in the new cabinet.
I affirm the pledge of office set out in Schedule 4.
For the past year, the two sides have been deadlocked over how and when the IRA would hand in its guns. The mantra of the mainstream Protestant parties has always been, no guns, no government. The IRA's political wing Sinn Féin agreed, as long as it was government first, guns later. Over the weekend, the deadlock was broken when Protestant leader David Trimble convinced his party to take a leap of faith into the new assembly and see if Sinn Féin leader Gerry Adams could be as good as his word.
Mr. Adams, it's over to you. We've jumped. You follow.
And today, Adams did, in word, if not yet in deed.
The Unionists have nothing to fear from sharing power with Irish Republicans, because our future is bound up together.
If all goes according to plan, this week, IRA representatives will begin to discuss the process of disarmament. For militant Protestants, that may not be enough. But these days, the voices that are being heard loudest are those of the ordinary people who've had enough of violence, hate, and division. Tom Fenton, CBS News, London.
Down the line on the CBS Evening News, meet Y2K Blue, the new face of law enforcement in the 21st century.
Oh, that was some meatloaf.
And some heartburn.
Oh, yeah.
Want some Tums?
Oh, we could try these new Pepsid AC gel caps.
Are you kidding? They aren't going to be fast like Tums. They're just as slow as regular Pepsid.
Tums calcium neutralizes acid fast. Pepsid gel caps famotidine has to go all through your bloodstream before it starts controlling acid, so it's just as slow as regular Pepsid.
Well, so you want to wait? Or you want the Tums?
Forget about it. Face the Tums.
Good morning, Mr. Schwab.
Morning.
Introducing Velocity from Schwab, the new incredibly powerful online trading software system. With the power to place multiple orders at one time, it's fast and smart. And, if you'll pardon the expression, cool.
All right, everyone, listen a second.
Please. A 5-position watering nozzle from Rainbird, which I found online and at thousands of retail stores. Now, it may be perfect for the garden, but a bank heist? I don't think so.
StoreRunner.com has shopping experts in every conceivable field, like Tracy Carrero in garden supplies.
Oh, my mother has a pair of those. Cut-and-hold rose pruners from Smith & Hawken, also available online and at 44 retail stores.
StoreRunner.com. Log on, let's shop.
Nobody does it like you.
The
new Hoover Steam Vac Glide Path sends hot water surging through 6 rotating brushes to stir up and pull out dirt others may leave behind. If you want clean, Hoover. Deep down, you want Hoover.
If you're one of the 36 million people who wear dentures, this is big. New 5-Minute Polydent cleans stains, then forms an invisible PolyShield barrier so you feel fresh all day. 5-Minute Polydent with PolyShield.
On the CBS Health Watch, new research out today found that 58% of breast cancer patients over age 75 died of breast cancer and might have benefited from more aggressive treatment. Currently, many doctors do not give older breast cancer patients chemotherapy on the assumption that they are too frail and are likely to die first of other causes such as heart disease. A new report today finds more than half the world's major rivers are polluted or going dry. The study says this forced 25 million people from their homes worldwide, 4 million more than were displaced by war last year. The worst rivers include the U.S. Colorado, going salty and desolate downstream, and China's Yellow River, polluted with big sections dry most of the year. Healthy rivers include the Congo in sub-Saharan Africa and the Amazon in Brazil. Rivers making a comeback, the U.S.-Canadian St. Lawrence and the Rhine in Western Europe. Also tonight, news from the vast ocean of outer space. Turns out the universe may be more crowded than we thought. Astronomers have now detected 6 new planets in orbit around stars outside our own solar system. All are less than 200 light years from Earth. What's more, 5 of these planets are in the so-called sweet zone, just far enough and close enough to their suns to possibly hold liquid water and hold out the prospect of some possible life. The climate on one is described as, quote, like a hot day in Sacramento. But don't expect to meet the new neighbors anytime soon. They are giant gas planets like Jupiter, immense, but so far as we know, no solid rock like Earth has. Next on the CBS Evening News, a preview of 21st century cops. These are the robo-cops. Wait till you see what the human ones will be able to do.
You are in the fight of your life. Just you against your smoking addiction, one-on-one. Trouble is, it's not a fair fight, and few people win it. But you can give yourself a fighting chance to win with Zyban. Zyban doesn't work for everyone. Zyban is part of a comprehensive program from your doctor to help you stop smoking. It's different from nicotine replacements. Zyban is the only prescription medicine that's nicotine-free, so you don't have to stop smoking all at once. As Zyban reduces your cravings, you feel like smoking less and less until you're ready to stop completely because you're ready to win. You should know there is a risk of seizure associated with Zyban. To reduce the risk, don't take Zyban if you have or have had a seizure or eating disorder, or if you take Wellbutrin. Don't take Zyban if you use an MAO inhibitor. Side effects may include dry mouth and difficulty sleeping. Ask your doctor if Zyban is right for you, because it can help you quit smoking by making it a fight you can win. Zyban, you don't have to quit all at once.
Yoo-hoo! Ready to go shopping? Ready for a better way to get my fiber. You'll have to concentrate. Huh? Concentrate on these new Phillips fiber caps.
New Phillips fiber caps don't contain sweeteners like most powders. You can't get a more concentrated fiber, so they're just as effective as Metamucil.
And there's no sweeteners. How do you know all that? I use my concentration.
New Phillips fiber caps, effective fiber therapy without the powder.
So what will happen to all this now that you're going virtual?
We're not going virtual.
I read you're getting into internet trading, online cash management.
Well, we are, yes.
The end of an era.
Not at all. Online trading and the rest of it are simply new tools we're making available.
You don't have to sugarcoat it for me, but I must tell you, I'm going to miss our little chats.
Nelson, I'm not going away. The office isn't going away.
Coffee? The ticker?
Not going away.
What about the little bull?
Not going away.
Good.
Y2K is now 32 days away. The new federal budget signed into law today provides for, among other things, hiring 50,000 new police officers to start the next century. So what will 21st century law enforcement be like? Forget RoboCop. But the real 21st century officer will be far different from the one on the beat today. CBS's Jim Stewart has the shape of things to come in law enforcement on the countdown to 2000.
Attention to roll call.
When the roll is called at your local police station in the 21st century, experts agree the cop of the future will look far different than the cop of today. Gone will be that heavy Sam Bowie belt, for example. There won't be any more wooden batons either. No more pepper spray, no heavy bullet-resistant vest, no stainless steel handcuffs, and maybe not even a gun as we know it.
They'll be working plain clothes.
In fact, compared to today's officer, future cop will look downright defenseless, but don't be deceived.
He'll actually have a greater capability. He'll have more kinds of devices on his person, but they're going to be a lot smaller.
So here he is, say the experts. For starters, the bulletproof vest of the future will be as thin as a cotton T-shirt. He'll still wear a uniform over it, but it'll be more businesslike. His firearm will be a powerful, non-lethal stun gun, and nearly everything else will be stored in his badge, which will actually be a powerful computer, camera, and communicator all rolled into one.
So that you might have his radio, you might have his global positioning that tells the dispatcher where he's located, tells him whether he's in trouble or not. You might have a miniature camera that's videoing exactly what's happening, so you can call back to the sergeant and say, hey, Sarge, I have a problem.
And when future cop does run into a problem, he'll have far more tools at his disposal than today. Instead of searching a crime scene by hand for DNA evidence, for example, a special camera may pinpoint it immediately. And DNA, says Dr. Lisa Foreman, is the key to all future crime solving. Give her a drop of DNA in the future, and she'll give you the suspect.
But technically, your DNA will be able to tell an investigator a picture of who left that DNA, of what you look like if you left your DNA at a crime scene.
Not a police artist rendering based on what witnesses say, mind you, but on what the genetic code says the actual face of the suspect should look like. And in the future, that wanted face can be programmed into computers that are connected to cameras throughout the city, much as they already are in London today. Tireless computer cameras that will search a sea of faces, as in this demonstration, until they find the one they're looking for. Even in the most dreaded of all police encounters, the hostage situation or barricaded gunman, future technology is expected to replace humans with machines, only maybe not the type you would expect. Meet the police scout of the future. That's his eye staring about. They can go virtually anywhere, even be fired through a window and feed back information. Other robot versions can literally snake their way through duct pipes to a suspect, and they're only the start. Future versions, called microelectric mechanical systems, or MIMS, will be even smaller.
MIMS are like tiny spiders. They're literally robotic spiders, the size of a microchip. I believe we're going to have those at the point that you could release a handful or so under a door, and they would crawl through the room, maybe up the walls. They're going to be able to send back images. They're going to be able to send back voices or attach themselves to a sock in much the way a very small insect might.
In 50 years, if society permits, future cop may be able to literally see through walls, peer miles into the distance, and with the aid of computers, speak every language known to man. And he will still, most experts agree, be one of America's lowest paid social servants. Jim Stewart, CBS News, on the countdown to 2000.
What won't change in the next century is the need for steady, smart, integrity-filled cops on the beat. If you like this broadcast, we hope you'll watch it again tomorrow night and maybe tell your neighbors about it. For the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the Internet and on our interactive partner, America Online, at keyword CBS News.